All right, this is 5-4. We are factoring trinomials, which sounds pretty cool, pretty hip. Don't get too excited. We're factoring trinomials. When we factor trinomials, the best way to think about it is the exact opposite of FOIL. We are doing FOIL in reverse. So let's start by thinking about FOIL. If I have x plus 2 and x plus 3, and I FOIL it, it becomes x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, right? I FOILed it. And that's x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now I said this in one of the earlier lessons, but notice how 2 times 3 equals 6 and 2 plus 3 equals 5. Well, we're going to use that to guess what these numbers should be, and then that we're going to check it, and then that's how we're going to know that we factored it. We're trying to go from here to here. So this is FOIL, and this is factor. Okay? So let's do an example. Let's say x squared plus 6x plus 8. Okay? So, I know I'm going to end up with 2 sets of parentheses. What times what equals x squared? Well, x and x. There's no other choice. Okay? Now, what times what equals 8? Well, it could be 1 and 8, or it could be negative 1 and negative 8, or it could be negative 2 and negative 4, or just 2 and 4. Okay? Now, one of these all multiply together to give me 8, so they're all possibilities. Only one of these adds together to give 6. Well, 1 plus 8 equals 9. Negative 1, negative 8 equals negative 9. Negative 2, negative 4 equals negative 6. 2 and 4 equal 6, so that's my winner. X plus 2, x plus 4. And now it's factored. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit of a guess and check game. Let's guess and check another one. Y squared minus 9y plus 20. Okay, so make my little parentheses. I know y's are going to go up front. All right, and then this is interesting. I have a negative sign now. All right, I know that when I multiply these last two, they're going to have to be positive, right? So the only possibilities are both of these are positive or both of these are negative. Now, considering the fact that this is a negative 9, do you think that these are both positive or do you think these are both negative? Well, they're going to have to both be negative because I can't add two positive numbers and get a negative, right? So I can go ahead and draw my little subtraction signs there because I know they're going to have to be negative. So what multiplies together to give 20? Well, negative 1 and negative 20, negative 10 and negative 2, negative 5 and negative 4. Those are 3 possibilities. And I know they need to add together to give me negative 9. Well, that equals negative 21. That equals negative 12. That equals negative 9, so that's my winner. Minus 5, minus 4. And I can FOIL and prove that I'm right. Okay? Let's do another one. X squared minus x minus 7. Okay? So, make my little parentheses. X's are up front. All right? Now, what multiplies together to give negative 7? Well, negative 1 and 7 or negative 7 and 1. Those are my only 2 options. So if I add this together, it gives me 6. If I add this together, it gives me negative 6. But I'm trying to get a negative 1. Neither of these are going to work. So this is what we call prime. It means that it cannot be factored into 2 binomials. It is prime. All right, let's do another one. 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. Okay, now, this differs from the ones that we've done before, specifically because it has a coefficient here now, right? So when I make my big parentheses, like I'm always going to do, right, this, I have to split up this too. Well, what multiplies together to give 3? Just 3 and then 1, but I don't have to write the 1, right? And then those x's are distributed like that. So I know this is how I'm going to start, okay? This is how I'm going to start. Now I need to think about all the different options I have for this. Well, what multiplies together to give negative 8? Well, negative 2 and 4, or 2 and negative 4, or 4 and negative 2, or negative 4 and 2, or 8 and negative 1, or negative 8 and 1, or negative 1 and 8, or 1 and negative 8. These are all of my options. Now, this is kind of guess and check. I'm just going to set these right here and here, and then see if it works. So let's talk about these first. Okay? So if it was 8 and negative 1, let's try that. 8 and negative 1. I'm just going to check the outside and the inside. This is called the OI test. Just the O and the I in FOIL. Okay? So the outside would be negative 3x. The inside would be 8x. Well, that gives me 5x. Wrong. Okay, let's try negative 8 and 1. Well, the outside is 3x. The inside is negative 8x. That gives me negative 5x. Well, wrong. Okay? And we can continue doing this and continue doing this until we find one that works. Let's try this one. Negative 2 and 4. Okay? So 3x times 4, if I'd put it in there, 3x times 4 equals 12x. Negative 2 times x equals negative 2x equals 10x. And that's what I originally wanted. So that means that that's correct. And that's the way that you find it. Okay? And that's the end of 5-4 for now.